views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your guest host, Nova Wightman. My radio show is on this network as well. It's called Spiritual Alignment Radio. It is all about vibrational living in a physical world, and I am absolutely delighted and honored to fill in for Dr. Pat today on her fabulous show, and really excited to give you what I consider to be one of the most important things to know and practice as you're trying to live this life as a spiritual being having a human experience. So a little bit about me in case you've never heard of me before, which is really quite possible, or you don't follow my work. I am a spiritual coach, first and foremost. I run my own coaching business, and it really focuses on an approach that I created quite a bit ago, probably 7-ish years ago, called Spiritual Alignment, hence my radio show name. And really what that is it's a method or an approach that I use with my clients and that I've been practicing for literally 7 years, every single day, 7+ years, I should say, that helps you practically combine your spiritual self and your human self. Because let's face it, most of us at this point, at least if you're in this spiritual arena and you're one of those self-development, spiritual development junkies, then you're aware that you are a vibrational being. You are a spiritual being first and foremost. And we're in these human bodies for just a little while. Most days we forget that. Most days we're operating from that very human place, even though life is responding to us vibrationally. So my method and my approach and my entire life's work revolves around helping us make sense of that in very practical and easy ways, because I don't believe that life is supposed to be a struggle. Heck, I don't even believe that life is supposed to be hard. I think that there's a lot of experiences that we have that help us grow and expand that feel hard, that are hard. And trust me when I say I'm not there where life is easy all the time, but I have found ways through my voracious quest and lifelong quest to experience life with more ease and flow and joy on the daily, moment to moment. I'm not just talking, getting that job, the house, the car, the money, the relationship. It's beyond that. It's the moment to moment joy, inner peace, connection to something bigger than yourself that I've been on a path towards since I was a kid. So I've actually found some really great ways that are easier than people think to make that happen and to live primarily from this place. And I call that spiritual alignment, aligning vibrationally with who you really are and navigating this human space, this physical space from your spiritual self, your vibrational self. So in addition to that, I also help with, if you're familiar with the work of Neil Donald Walsh and the Conversations with God books and messages, I joined that team in 2012. So I'm also a Conversations with God coach. And I help people, same thing, learn how to be who you really are in everyday life in this place we called reality and earth. I'm also an author. Recently, I just released my first book called Awake and Aligned, How to Navigate the Human Experience as a Spiritual Being. And really, it is a guidebook using all of those practical applications to put a lot of these lofty, sometimes unreachable spiritual concepts into practical application and really just get into your groove, make it easy. It doesn't have to be hard. So I released that book this year and have been having some wonderful adventures relating to it. And then, of course, radio show host. So that's enough about me. I really want to get into what we're going to talk about today. I had to sit and really think about how and what I wanted to contribute to Dr. Pat's audience. They asked me to do this, fill in for her about a month ago, so I've really been giving it some thought. And you know, there's a million different things I could cover under the umbrella of my expertise, but I figure why not just give you the very best parts, the parts that in my over 12 years of coaching and consulting and energy reading, and 7 of those years being very focused on this particular approach, why not give you what I give my clients and that I practice myself and just give you the best parts of it. Now, everyone in the industry would tell you from a business standpoint, oh, don't do that. That's stupid. Give them a little bit and then let them in. They'll start following you. I don't care if you follow me or not. I just want you to practice the stuff and see firsthand how it can actually transform your life. And the best part is that if you take even just one aspect of some of the things that I'm going to share with you today in this hour and apply it, you will start to see a difference immediately. And I can say that with utter conviction and confidence because A, I've experienced it time and time again, and B, I've got documented cases up the yin yang of people who have noticed a shift immediately as well. Now, granted, those documented cases are really just my session notes and my journal entries, but someday I'll put them in book form perhaps. So let's start really simple here. What is alignment? I know you've heard the word. I just don't know if you know what I mean by it in this framework and this context. So I'll give you my definition of it. Alignment is that state of being where you are in flow, where you are connected, where you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You're clear, you're calm, you're in receiving mode, and things just kind of flow. Things just come together for you. You're not efforting, you're not forcing, you're not resisting. And when I refer to alignment as a state of being, it's important to recognize that there are varying states of it. So I don't want to give you the idea that what you'll experience right away is, this blissed out state, walking around with permagrin and like your Buddha on the mountaintop. That might happen. I've definitely had moments of it. But to recognize the varying states and learn how to reach higher. And most importantly, when you've inevitably fallen out of alignment, which happens a trillion times in a day, no matter who you are, even to me, how to get back in, how to glide back in, allow yourself to be brought back in versus struggling your way back in, which is pretty much impossible. So that's what I mean by alignment. And the topic of this show is really how to step into 2019 and beyond and start living from a place of alignment with who you really are. What I mean by who you really are is the highest version of you, your higher self, your soul, the aspect of you that didn't forget coming into this human realm, that still has access to all of that wisdom and knowledge and the bigger picture, the divine plan, whatever you want to call it. And coming from that place in the context of daily human life. Like, yeah, purpose and serving the world are important things and things that I think all the spiritual seekers out there want to know how to do and strive to do as much as possible. But what I'm really talking about in addition to that are the moment to moments, doing the dishes, taking care of your kids, connecting with people, be it your friends or family or strangers on the street, paying your bills, cleaning your house, driving along on the roads, going shopping, whatever it might be, just human life. What would it be like if you came from that place of alignment and connection and centered, calm confidence every single day? Now, before I can teach you about that, it's kind of important to understand and know what life looks like when you're not coming from a place of alignment with who you are in everyday life. So I figure that the best way to talk about that with you is just to really talk about what we're all experiencing right now, being that it is the holiday season. And I'm somebody who strives each year to kind of beat that game. I want the magic. I want the fun. I want the joy. I want everything that the Hallmark Channel portrays in their Christmas movies. And I watch a lot of those. I love them. I know that they're incredibly cheesy and corny, but they're gorgeous masterpieces of cinematography in my eyes. But I want that feeling. And yet I think we all do. We all kind of go into that place of, nostalgia and how we experienced the holiday season when we were kids, before we were bombarded by all of this reality stuff, and being told what to think and how to view life. And yet we have that vision in our mind, and we go through the holiday season, and before you know it, realize that, hey, it's not like that at all. It's not the Hallmark Channel. In fact, it's rifled with stress and go and too much busyness and obligation and drama, all sorts of things. So I've been on this quest for the past few years, ever since one Christmas season landed me in the hospital from too much stress. I've been on this quest to experience it another way, to tap into that magic and slow down. So one of the things I did was make a commitment to myself to take the month of December off. Now, the last few years that I've attempted this, I've managed to take off most of it, like maybe I think it was 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of December, 1 year. I think maybe last year it was a little bit more than that. This year it was supposed to be the whole month. And I'm kind of, I'm not going to say ashamed. I don't like that, but I'm a little embarrassed to say I didn't accomplish that. I went on vacation as of December 7th. I extended it into that first week because I just couldn't really see any way around it. Wasn't viewing it from a place of alignment, by the way. And I officially went on vacation on December 7th, and it is December 17th? And I have yet to feel like I'm on vacation. I haven't given any sessions since then, but in terms of just kind of unplugging and not being in work mode, for me, it's not work. It is, I love my work. It doesn't feel like work, but you need to have those times, those moments where you feel unplugged, where it gets to be all about you and kind of reboot and recalibrate. That's what vacations are for. I haven't had that feeling yet. And I realized as I've been having these experiences over the last couple of weeks, where the old reality, the old paradigm that I used to operate in primarily has come back to sort of make sure that I'm implementing what I know. At least that's my theory. So I think you guys can relate to this. It's saying yes when you mean no. It's honoring what's marked on your calendar and the plans you made with somebody maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago when it did feel good, and ignoring the fact that it no longer feels good because so many things change, right? And you're just not in the same place you were when you made those plans. And yet following through on them because, well, I said I would, or it's important to my kids that I take them to this birthday party, even though it's a Sunday night and it's 5:30 and the birthday party's at Chuck E. Cheese of all places, which I think is like the ninth circle of hell, germ-wise and just overstimulation for us energetically sensitive folk. So it's kind of playing in that paradigm of honoring what is, or the old framework of reality of, do what you should, put other people's feelings, thoughts, emotions, and comfort before your own, and wait to feel good till you've crossed everything off your to-do list. And I tell you guys, and I already knew this, but I had to deepen it apparently. Every single time you honor that versus what you're intrinsically feeling, honoring that, just that sense of knowing where the energy is truly flowing. So in this example, this birthday party context was actually yesterday after a long weekend. And I've got 2 small kids, 9 and almost 5. And if you're a parent or you experienced children, you know how that can just suck the life out of you sometimes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my kids. I love being a parent. And I hate that we always have to justify saying this, but the reality of it is that it's a lot of hard work. And come Sunday night, after a full weekend of activities and other obligations that you say yes to, you don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese at 5:30. So, I had already had these experiences where I kept my commitments, I kept my obligations, and I watched it played out, and the evidence showed me that I made the wrong choice. I wasn't following the natural flow of energy. I wasn't listening to what I was intuiting and sensing. I knew I didn't want to go to this thing. I knew I didn't want to follow through with that commitment. And I ultimately knew it would be okay. But when I made the choice to do it, I wasn't doing it from a place of alignment. I was doing it from a place of misalignment. And when you do that, things don't work out the way that you think they will. So in this case, I had enough. I just said, you know what, lesson learned. I'm not going to Chuck E. Cheese. And my fear was that my 5-year-old, or almost 5-year-old rather, would freak out, that she would go in major tantrum mode and punish the heck out of me and my husband, and that I would spend the rest of my Sunday evening consoling her and trying to convince her that the world is still spinning. But you know what happened? When I made that choice not to go and honor that I needed time to just sort of relax and wind down after the weekend and not put myself in that situation, she didn't even notice. She didn't remember. She literally, like an hour before I made the decision, she had asked, when are we going to the party? And I said, in a little bit. And then I never said anything else. And she never asked again. We got through this morning, getting ready for school. She still didn't notice. Thank God for 4.5-year-old brains that forget things easily and are very tuned into the present moment. So my point is that as you know, you're running through your to-do lists and doing your Christmas shopping and going to those parties and making sure that you are making the treats and the meals and the appetizer dishes to share and making sure you have everything perfect, even though you are internally combusting with stress and overwhelm. The difference between experiencing that from a place of alignment and experiencing that from a place of misalignment is that the alignment place is full of ease and flow and true enjoyment and satisfaction in the experience, and allowing things to come together in such a way where, you know what, if you didn't finish the meatballs, nobody's going to care or nobody's going to notice. Or if you didn't follow through on that obligation and you decided to stay home instead and just, articulated, hey, I'm not feeling it, they're actually relieved and they said, good, me too. It all works out. It flows, and you're able to sustainably keep your vibration high enough to continue that pattern, to continue enjoying that place of connection and flow and alignment and receiving. Now, the misaligned place, that's where you run into trouble. That's where you experience burnout, overwhelm, stress, freakouts, things not working out, running into problems, all sorts of stuff. And that's what we don't want. We spend the rest of the year doing that. Let's not do that now. So that's kind of the contextual framework that I can give you to help you understand what I mean by, gosh, what's possible if you were to step into 2019 from this place of alignment versus shoulds and obligation and disconnect and old programming that you guys were growing out of. The world is growing out of it. I see it all around me. It's not just with my individual clients who have been spiritual all along. People are waking up. They want more. They want more meaning. They're sensing that there's another way. There's an easier way. And not just in your individual lives, but in the systems that make up our world, our culture. So that's what I want to share with you. I want to share with you the fundamental pieces of, how to get there. I will tell you that it is not, it does take hard work, guys. I've been doing this alignment approach for, like I said, 7 years. But when I say I've been doing it, I'm not saying that I've just dipped in and dipped out. I've been doing it for every single day. every single day without fail. In the beginning, there have been days where I've kind of skipped my practices that help me stay tuned in. I've definitely messed up. I've definitely spent a little too much time in forgetful land, making it harder on myself than I needed to be. But as a result, I'm now in this place where as soon as I'm out, I know it and I know how to get back in to alignment and get things flowing again. And I want nothing more than for others to know that too. So, another thing before I continue is when I mentioned that I wrote my book, Awake and Aligned, that was my way of, obviously I can't work with everybody, even if I did more group coaching. So I needed to create a way to make this accessible to more people. So I just put it all in a book, you guys. This isn't to plug myself. It isn't to make any money. Trust me, you don't make money on books anymore. Trust me. But everything is here. So if you were to get this book and read through it and do the actual practical applications, you would get to where you're going. You would experience this kind of alignment that I'm talking about. It's a little bit harder to do it on your own, but it's very possible. I know a lot of self-starters and go-getters out there. And of course, there are many ways to hold yourself accountable. So at the end of today's show, I'm going to give away a free copy. And the way that you can access that is by calling in. The number to call in, if you want to kind of write it down right now so that you're ready to call in, is 1-800-930-2819. That's 1-800-930-2819. And just the first caller will win a copy of my book. Don't do it yet. We're going to wait because I want you to actually stay and listen to what I'm going to give you because it's going to change your life. More information on me, you can go to novawightman.com. That's NOVAGHTMAN.com. And if you add a little /gift there, GIFT, then everybody listening, you don't have to call in. You'll receive my free mini e-course, which is 3 days to raising your vibration. Learning how to consistently raise your vibration is one of the most important pieces of knowledge that you can have. It's one of the most important skills to implement on a day-to-day basis when we're talking about playing this alignment game. And you guys, it's so easy. It's so easy. You take this course, it's free again. And you'll see like, oh, really? That's going to raise my vibration? That's all I have to do every single day? No problem. And again, you start practicing this stuff and you start noticing that, yeah, it works. So go to novawightman.com /gift to get your free, get access to your free program. It's a 3-day mini e-course, 3 days to raising your vibration. So those are all the goodies. That's what I want you to know you have access to. Now, let's get into it. The very first thing that I start my clients on when they engage with me in this spiritual alignment process, and the very first thing that I started doing when this was a game changer for me was have a daily practice. So this is not new. I know you've heard this. I know that I am one of hundreds, if not thousands of teachers and way showers that are spouting this stuff these days. At one point in time, there weren't many people. This was kind of like a little secret or hidden tip or trick. But it's very simple. If you look at it energetically, if we're spiritual beings and vibrational beings made up of energy, if thoughts are energy, words are energy, everything is energy, then that's a whole heck of a lot of energy going around. And it's really hard to focus it if you don't have a foundation, a platform to come from. If you don't have a place to refocus and sort of harness that energy, harness your thoughts and be a little bit more conscious and intentional each and every day, then you're just kind of letting life happen to you. You're probably experiencing life from a very reactionary place, from a place of things are happening to you, not through you. You're not getting that joy of being a conscious co-creator that we all are. So having a daily practice is one of those things that it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be long, but it's just enough to get you to focus and get you to plug in and tune in and tap in each and every day, where you're quieting that external noise. You're quieting the external chatter, and you're able to respond and act versus react. You're able to come from that place of alignment and clarity and connection more easily. And perhaps more importantly, you're able to recover more quickly when you just kind of default to human mode and you do react, because that's going to happen. Don't let me fool you. The human stuff doesn't go away, guys. And that's not even the goal. It's to learn how to merge, right? To be human, enjoy being spiritual, and being this energetic, vibrant, co-creative, limitless being in a very human body. So those things don't go away. You're going to have your moments of frustration. You're going to have your moments where you don't act like the most evolved being. But the difference is, if you have this platform to come from, if you know that, okay, well, I'm going to refocus my energy, then you're going to be able to get back into that place much more quickly. You're not going to spend much time in the arenas of shame or guilt or beating yourself up or any of that. It's not really productive. It just makes you kind of swirl in it longer than you need to. So when I say having a daily practice, I said it can be many things. It can be anything, really. It just has to feel good. It just has to help you calm down a little bit and connect within, instead of constantly searching outside of yourself to feel good. And what it can look like is journaling, meditation, practicing daily gratitude. There are some other favorites that I have that I'm going to share with you today. And again, none of this stuff is new. Well, one of them that I'm going to share with you will probably be new to you. But the gratitudes, the journaling, the meditation, we know these are things that help us feel good. We know these are things that get us connected and calm within. But do we do them every day? Do we take the time to do them? Most people don't. And before I started this journey myself, I was dabbling. I mean, I was reading all the books. I was, definitely a spiritual person since a kid. I grew up this way, which I'm very fortunate for. But I wasn't putting my money where my mouth is. I wasn't actively practicing it every day. And as a result, I was only getting a fraction of that inner peace, of that joy, of that connection that I could have been. Once I started a daily practice, and when I started it, I had hired a coach, a very expensive coach, but I needed to, because otherwise I wasn't going to do it. I knew myself very well back then. I knew how I would sabotage a bit. I was on 7 daily habits every single day. I had to do 7 daily habits. And my coach told me that if I didn't do them, he would fire me and he would keep my money. Well, you can bet your bottom that I did them. That was enough for me. And what I started to notice immediately was this texture of life changed. I was no longer as reactionary as I was before. Life seemed to slow down a little bit. I could see things more clearly. I could make my decisions more easily. And they were some of these daily practices, or as we called them at the time, daily habits, were journaling. We're practicing gratitude, writing down 10 things that I'm grateful for each and every single day. When I say journaling, I mean, like processing my thoughts, being with my thoughts. It wasn't forcing myself to be positive. It was actually giving myself a very safe place to go. Giving my thoughts, my emotions, my negative thoughts and emotions a safe place to go to be processed and released, versus continually practicing them. So that's how it kind of started off. And then it evolved into some of these other practices. Now, in my years of doing this and working with many, many different clients, I always give them very specific ones, the ones that I have found, the practices rather, that I have found to be the most effective. But I've also met people who have come to the table already having practices that I'd never done before, and very simple ones, like going outside and walking in nature every day, rain, snow, sun, or clouds. It didn't matter. They were out there. That was their consistent way of showing up and tuning in and quieting down the outside world. Gardening was one of them. Reading books, it could be anything, you guys. But whatever it is, you got to do it consistently. That's the key. With consistency, commitment, and discipline, meaning you can't skip days. I remember the very first day of my coach's challenge to me, or when I officially started with him, it was the day before leaving for a trip to Topeka, Kansas. I live in Minnesota, and we were driving. We had to get up really early. We were going to drive down there. It was back in my Taekwondo competition days. And there was no time. I had to get up at before the crack of dawn, like 4:00 in the morning. We were going to be in the car all day. As soon as we got there, we were going to get to the hotel. I was sharing a room with people, blah, blah, blah. There was just going to be no space or time. So what did I do? Because I knew how important this was to me and I didn't want my coach to fire me. I got up a half an hour earlier. I got up at 3:30 in the morning or whatever it was. And I gave myself that space to do those habits. So there's lots of excuses that we come across that make us think that we can't do this, that there's no time, but that's living in the old framework, the old paradigm. So daily practice is a huge thing. And again, it doesn't matter what you do. It just matters that you're showing up each and every day. One of my favorite daily practices is something called powerful questions. And this is one that I really want to dive into with you guys because it's been an absolute game changer. Gratitudes is by far one of the most transformative daily practices to have. And if you've experienced practice, like consciously looking for things to be grateful for and looking for positive aspects, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, do it immediately. It's definitely one of the easiest ways to get started. And I always tell people that if it's the only thing you ever do, but you do it every single day, you're going to notice a difference. But there's this lesser known habit called powerful questions, and it sounds self-explanatory, but it's a little bit different than what you might think. So one of the things that is involved in the alignment process is, first and foremost, build your foundation for alignment. Step one, that's through your daily practices. Step two is about recognizing that life is always working for you, that you are divinely supported, that if something occurs, whether it's, through the law of attraction because you weren't thinking very clearly and were thinking more negatively, so this happened. Even if it's that, it's still serving your higher good. You still have the opportunity to experience it from a conscious higher perspective. It's still somehow serving you. We don't always have to understand it. So one of the ways that we can enact that principle of embracing the fact that everything that happens is happening for you, or as it's more commonly known, everything happens for a reason, is by utilizing and leveraging our partnership with the universe. That's something that I knew that we had. I understood that because, again, I grew up in a very spiritual environment, but I didn't understand what it meant from a functional perspective. Like, yeah, I believed obviously in God and in angels and spirit guides and everything. And when the world started getting a little bit more new agey and using the term the universe, I hopped on that train as well. That resonated with me. But I didn't quite understand how it worked, how the mechanics of it worked. Well, this little habit called powerful questions allowed me to make that functional in my daily life, to that partnership that I have with the universe, to make it functional. Because here's how it works, guys. It's not just a fancy, lofty concept of, the universe has your back. You're not doing this alone. Call upon your guides and angels. It's actually more than that. When you're in a state of alignment, I mentioned before that you're in a state of flow, you're in a state of connection and receiving. And to take that a step further, what I mean by that is you're getting out of the way and you're allowing the universe, God, your guides, your angels, to get in there and take care of those things. To take care of those things for you, so it doesn't have to feel like effort. It can feel like flow. And I want to dive into this a little bit more with you, but I'm conscious of the fact that we need to take a break here. So when we come back from break, I'm going to show you, this is like one of the best things, in addition to gratitude. Powerful questions is one of the best things you can do for yourself as a daily practice. And I'm going to show you how it actually works energetically to get out of the way and let the universe come in and work on your behalf while you just kind of sit back and feel good. Yes, it's that simple. And it's that true. It does take some hard work to implement. So when we come back from break, we're going to dive into the habit of powerful questions, and we're going to talk more about these elements of living a life of alignment and what is possible for you. All right, we'll be back in just a minute or two.
Disease, one of the most dreaded words in our vocabulary. Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know traditionally we have viewed disease as a degenerative process? Disease is better understood when we view it as dis-ease in the human body. Dis-ease means without ease. Health is not merely the absence of disease. It's when every part of the body works together effortlessly, relaxed and at ease. It's that relaxed state that lets energy flow in waves through and around the entire body. Every organ has an electrical charge, and when overcharged or undercharged, dis-ease occurs. And it is an effort to go through our day. We are able to determine the exact dis-ease of the body and design a specific solution to correct the nutritional imbalance. Contact us at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
A space of allowing radio with Coach Nancy Coco, welcoming all that wants to be present today. Tune in Thursdays every first and third week at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com as Coach Nancy helps you find a space of allowing. Join Coach Nancy to explore what lives at your edges and to bring more of yourself home. For more information, visit NancyCocoCoaching.com.
Tune in to People Like Us Radio with Megan Lyons, transcending the trauma of the human experience. Megan will be raising the universal consciousness by empowering listeners with their own inner strength, working past trauma and abuse. Megan will show you how to find true healing and inner peace through the art and practice of self-love. Tune in every first and third Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. For more information about Megan and her work, visit EnterTheLightLLC.com.
Calling all ladies. Are you struggling with neck, back, shoulder pain, or postural issues? You actually might have a related bra problem. Talk to Maria Monti at the Healthy Bra Company. She is a professional postural therapist who offers custom-fitted, custom-altered bras in 2,500 size combinations specific to your body type, shape, size, anatomical features, and breast weight. Call Maria today to find out more at 360-815-3205.
Healing beyond symptom management into true wellness with Jessica Dooley on Purely You Radio. Tune in every third Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific as Jessica guides you to find and embrace your purest self. Not the self that is shown on social media, not the self that is created in your family's eyes, but your purest version of you. Purely You Radio supports true wellness, not just symptom management. For more information about working with Jessica Dooley, visit purelyyouhealing.com.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Or if you're just tuning in, I'm Nova Wightman. I'm filling in for Dr. Pat today on her show. And we are talking about all things alignment and living from a place of vibrational alignment and harmony. Alignment with who you really are. What would it be like to come from every aspect come from a place of alignment, rather, in every aspect of your day-to-day life, not just the big stuff, but all the little moments in between. That's what we're exploring today, and I'm giving you some great tools to begin implementing immediately. If you want to dive deeper and actually get a how-to guide for it, you can find my book, Awake and Aligned, How to Navigate the Human Experience as a Spiritual Being, on Amazon. And actually, I'm going to open it up. I'm giving away a free copy of this book today, and a guidebook will accompany it. So to the first caller, you can call in at 1-800-930-2819. That's 1-800-930-2819. And the first caller will, again, receive a free copy of my book. Now, to all of you listeners, if you want a freebie, you can go to my website, novawhiteman.com/gift, and receive a free mini e-course called 3 Days to Raise Your Vibration. That's www.novawhiteman, WIGHTMAN.com/gift, 3 days to raise your vibration. And that's what we're talking about here. Alignment is all about raising your vibration so that you can get to a higher vantage point, so that you can reach an access point to get out of the way and let the universe step in and do things for you. So before the break, we were talking about this wonderful habit called powerful questions. I talked about how step one for living a life of alignment is to establish a daily practice. You've heard this before. Maybe you haven't done it yet. I urge you to just start somewhere. Gratitudes is great. Journaling, meditation, there's gobs of resources out there to help you fine-tune some of those, including this book. But powerful questions is the one I want to explore with you right now. So we have this partnership with the universe. Our job is to know what we want. Our job is to continually be finding ways to express and experience aspects of who we really are, to be our highest self in different situations, different contexts. The universe's job is to take care of the details, to take care of the how. So for example, just to use something very superficial, surface level, if you want that job or that partner, and if you're really clear that you know what you want, and actually you don't have to know the details, you just have to know the essence, the feeling, then it's not your job to make it happen, like we've been told. It's the universe's job. The universe takes care of those details vibrationally. Now, does that mean that all you have to do is say, okay, universe, I want the perfect job or the perfect relationship, and I'm going to go sit on that couch over there and put my feet up and eat bonbons for the next couple days to let you take care of it for me? Does it mean that? I bet you expected me to say no. I'm going to say yes, it does. It can, rather. It absolutely can. If vibrationally you're able to sit on that couch and eat your bonbons and feel good and feel like you're in that space of alignment for a good amount of time, not just a minute, not for just the time that it takes to actually consume the bonbons. Does anybody actually eat bonbons anymore? Random. But it can look that way. Now, does it look that way for most people? No. But what it does look like is finding ways to feel good so that when you're taking the action that is oftentimes required, which is oftentimes part of how the universe delivers the how, then you're putting yourself in that place to receive it, to receive the inspiration, to receive the motivation, to receive the resources, to rendezvous with the right people. In other words, it becomes more effortless. It doesn't feel like work. That is the difference between, okay, I want that job, so I'm going to fill out my resume and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this, and coming from this place of, God, I don't want to do it, but man, I should because that's how it's done. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen that way. That can be part of the how if, again, you're feeling good while you're filling out the resume, while you're cold calling people for job prospects or whatever you might be doing. I don't know how people do it these days. But the difference is, who are you being while you're doing what you're doing? How are you feeling while you're doing what you're doing? If you're feeling good and your vibration is up here, that means that door to the universe is open and the universe can swing in there and get through and make all these cooperative components happen. If you're trying to force things along, or if you're stuck in fear, doubt, worry, anger, you're in resistance mode. That door is shut. You're not making it easy for the universe. If you think of them as like a FedEx guy or package delivery service, The universe is literally waiting on the other, not literally, waiting on the other side of the door to deliver your package, but the door is closed. Now, it'll wait patiently. All you have to do is relax and get into alignment and feel good, and the universe can step in there and deliver it. Now, enter in the daily practice of powerful questions. This is a practical application that takes that lofty concept of the how is not up to us and we're divinely supported and puts it into functionality. And what it looks like is every day writing down 5 powerful questions that feel good in the asking of them. 5 questions that are positively posed. So we're asking powerful questions all the time. And it's usually with the tone or the context of what else could go wrong? Oh, I woke up and this happened and that happened and my car broke down and my kids started screaming. Like, what else could go wrong today? That's a powerful question, but it's negatively posed and it feels bad. If it feels bad to you, your vibration drops. That door closes. You're likely to have more bad experiences that day. But if you get into the habit of training yourself, training not only your vibration, but your neurology, you're actually rewiring your brain to think in a different way, a higher way, a more productive way, by taking the time each and every day to write down things like, what if this was a fabulous day? How can I show up as the highest version of myself? What is one powerful step I can take in my business today to really serve and have an impact and make money? There's thousands of different ways you can pose these questions, but there's kind of the framework for them is that they must feel good in the asking. They have to be positively posed, of course, but they must feel good in the asking of them. So in other words, you might feel relief or joyful expectation or excitement. And when you do that, your vibration raises instantly. Now, the third part is don't answer the question. Don't try to answer the question. That's the universe's job. And that is how this technique works so beautifully in making that partnership that you have with the universe, that each of us has, no exception, a reality. Because most of the time we can get on board with that concept. We hear it and we say, yes, I believe that. Now, how does that work? I'm not experiencing that. I believe it, but how does it work? So this is how it can work. This is one way to do it, is just every day write down 5 powerful questions that feel really good in the asking of them. Don't answer them. And then just go about your business, focusing on positive aspects, feeling good as often as possible, practicing these other elements of alignment. It's all in here, guys. In fact, in the back of the book, there's a whole list of powerful questions that can help inspire you and get you started. But it can be very general, like, what is the most amount of love I can stand today or that I can experience today? How can I be more patient, present, and kind? What if this Christmas season weren't stressful at all? What if it was absolutely delightful? How can I relax more? Things like that. Not only is it raising your vibration, it's starting to get you to think differently. Think in terms of possibility versus limitation. So even if you want to kind of dissect this and call the rest of the vibrational stuff fluff, which these days, fortunately, we're getting more evidence of it for those people that need it. But if you take all that away, it's neuroscience. You're retraining yourself to see things a different way, to think a different way. And when we think from a more positive, relaxed place, when our brain is relaxed, we're producing the feel-good chemicals, the feel-good hormonal responses that cause us to be more resourceful, that cause us to see a solution or receive an idea or access a resource more quickly and easily than if we were flooding our brains with stress hormones and stress chemicals that come from saying, oh, why me? How is this ever going to work? So this one habit alone can change everything for you. And I deeply encourage you to practice it. So again, if you, let me just check real quick. Did we have a caller for the book? Maybe not. Maybe we haven't had a caller for the book yet. But if you want a free copy of the book, the number, oh, okay. So we did. Somebody did call in. So that book is spoken for. You can get the book at on Amazon or my website, www.novawhightman.com. Get your free gift there too. Now, the last part that I want to share with you today, so we've covered living a life of alignment in 2019 and beyond, and heck, the rest of 2018 starts with building your foundation for alignment. That's step one. That involves having a daily practice, having a place to just refocus and harness your over 60,000 thoughts a day. Remember, thoughts are energy in formation, and they dictate how we feel. They create how we feel. If you're thinking a bad thought, you're going to feel bad. If you're thinking a good thought, you're going to feel good. It's really that simple. Having a daily practice allows you to focus your thoughts on purpose, to think on purpose. And as a result, you're training your vibration at a higher frequency, and you're rewiring your neurology so that it's all more effortless, guys. So daily practice, step one, powerful questions is a great one to have. Gratitudes, meditation. Step two is embrace your partnership with the universe. Everything that is happening and unfolding in your life, there's always a higher purpose. There's always an opportunity. And if you can accept that, you're going to have a much different experience of it. Step three is all about trust. And the reason why it's step three is because it comes from step one and step two. Trust is a hard thing. It requires being able to drown out all the other noise. It requires being able to calm those fears and have faith anyway. And that is going to come from consistently getting yourself to that higher vibrating place. Trust isn't something that you can do. Trust isn't something that you can force yourself to feel, but you can soothe yourself into it. You can practice yourself into it. And if you follow step one, that's enough. Having a daily practice and doing some of these things that are training yourself to feel better more often. Trust is a natural consequence of that, a natural result. So if that's a part that concerns you, rest easy, it'll come. There is a step that I kind of skipped over here, and it's so important. I can't believe I did. And actually, this is probably step three. Step three is the human side of things, okay? You have to manage your vibration. You have to manage your thoughts and your emotions. The daily practices and having a daily practice in itself is going to help with that largely. Journaling's one way to do it. You have a bad day or you're worried about something, write it out. Get it from your subconscious into your conscious so that you can release it. Don't worry about attracting anything there. I always think it's a safe space. It's just when you continually tell that story. So if you were to write about something that was concerning you or causing you to feel negative emotion, and you got it out in your journal, but then you called your friend and then you talked about it to the next person that says, "How you doing today?" And you just tell them all about it, then you're practicing that vibration. That's when it becomes a problem. But managing your emotions and managing your thoughts and your vibration really just entails embracing it. We talk about embrace everything. Embrace those too. Embrace the fear, embrace the doubt, embrace the worry, embrace the moments where you fall off and out of alignment, and allow yourself to be with it and feel it. Process it in a way that is healthy. Journaling, crying, talking it out, venting to a friend or a loved one or a coach, and then consciously choose to go higher from there. Don't stay there. That is managing your vibration. It's not just settling for the default setting, right? It's interrupting that pattern and choosing something higher, something better, which is much easier to do when you have a daily practice. I cannot say that enough. So, the reason why that part is still is just incredibly important to know is that in this age of awakening, and why alignment is so important, is that there's so many of us that are becoming more energetically sensitive. We're sensing more. Lights, sounds, everything affects us on a different level. I'm at a whole new level of it. I can barely walk into a Target or a Walmart anymore. I could never walk into a Walmart. But anyway, so all of this stuff, alignment becomes vital as we're waking up, as you're waking up, as the world is waking up. And if you implement some of this stuff, you're going to find that it's all easier, that you get the help that you need, that it flows more. You're in a state of allowing and receiving, and that you can come from a place of a conscious alignment and intention in all your choices, instead of having to follow through on stuff that you don't want to do or force yourself into anything. So, you know what? We have to wrap up. This is the end of the show. I have so enjoyed being here. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to serve you today and fill in for Dr. Pat. You can find more about me, my book, programs at www.novawightman.com. NOVAWIGHTMAN. You guys have a wonderful holiday season and rest of 2018, and we'll see you in the new year. Thanks, guys.
Again.